Donald John Trump, Jeffrey Epstein, and some obviously topless young girls. Wolfe further states that the photo showed a trouser stain, that Trump had a trouser stain. Now, maybe he spilled his coffee, okay? Good to be back with you. I have some kind of sober news here that I want to share with you because I think this might be the most important piece of news that you will receive in a long time. And I know we've seen a lot of things, and we said, well, this is something, that's something. Earlier this week, on a podcast called The Court of History, which was posted on a site called Legal AF, there was a conversation. Let me describe to you the three people who were part of this conversation. One of them, frankly, a friend of mine, I have a very close relationship with, a man by the name of Sidney Blumenthal. If you want to know how serious a guy Sidney Blumenthal is, he was a senior aide in the Clinton White House. He's an Academy Award-winning documentary producer. He's produced numerous books. Many of them are really well reviewed. He is currently writing a 5-volume history on the political life of Abraham Lincoln. His 3 volumes are out. The 4th is coming, I think, relatively soon. It has received staggeringly good reviews. Sidney he worked at the New Republic. I think that Atlantic, maybe. And I know the Washington Post. He is, by any definition, a very serious person, a very serious journalist, and I would add a very serious historian. His co-host is a gentleman named by Sean Wilentz. If you want to know who Sean Wilentz is, let me just give you one little factoid about Sean. He is the chairman, or maybe was, I'm not sure of the tense here because he takes a lot of sabbaticals because he works very hard. The chairman of the history department at what I refer to as the Little Red Schoolhouse in central New Jersey. You might refer to it as Princeton. The chairman of the history department at Princeton is a very, very bright man. He also won, I think it was 2007, but I'm not sure. It's not that important. The Bancroft Prize for history. This is historians saying this is the horse of horses in our profession. So he is very esteemed, is at the very top of, I don't know what they call themselves, the academy or some of that shit, but that's what he is. He's a very, very serious man. He's written any number of books, meticulous, obviously well-researched, thoughtful. He and Sidney probably have combined IQ of, I don't know, 390 or something. Who cares? But they were very smart guys. And on the show, they had a guest, a man by the name of Michael Wolfe. You may have heard of Michael Wolfe. Michael Wolfe has written many books, particularly well connected in the Trump world. It broke a lot of stories. And Michael's received, I think, 2, maybe 3 prestigious journalism awards. He is, by any definition, a very, very clever man. I do not, I'm sure I might have met Michael Wolfe at some point, but if it is, it was kind of a bump and run greeting. I don't have any particular connection to him. I don't have his number in my cell phone. I can't recall last time I talked to Michael. But his books are, a good read. He gives you a lot of inside stuff on the Trump administration. But Michael Wolfe is a very smart guy, and he's a very clever man. And he went on with these other 2 really smart guys. Let me repeat again. It's called The Court of History. It's on a podcast site called Legal AF. You want to listen to this. This is the important thing. And understand, let's talk about the environment we live in with Trump and everybody. This is a very litigious environment. Everybody, they sue everybody. And Michael Wolfe came out and very deliberately said, I'm getting ready to deliver here, people. I'm not promising you something, and I'm under promising. Michael Wolfe said, he just confirmed, he knew Jeffrey Epstein. In fact, he would go to his townhouse. I think it was on the Upper East Side of New York. And I guess they'd meet and have dinner, have drinks. I don't know. But if you were a journalist, looking for these kind of stories, Jeffrey Epstein would definitely be somebody you know. And Jeffrey Epstein cultivated journalists and cultivated a lot more, to be honest with you. And Wolfe says, understand this, that Epstein went into his personal safe and pulled out photos that had Donald John Trump, Jeffrey Epstein, and some obviously topless young girls. Wolfe further states that the photo showed a trouser stain, that Trump had a trouser stain. Now, maybe he spilled his coffee, okay? I don't know, but that's what he said, that there was Trump, Jeffrey Epstein, topless. I can't tell you if they were related, if they were over or under the age of consent. And he said something else. Epstein said that he talked to Vladimir Putin a lot and that he had gone to Moscow and met with Vladimir Putin. So let's stop and see where we are. You can listen to it. Let me repeat again. The Court of History on the site Legal AF. A clever man said that he went to Epstein's townhouse, apparently on numerous occasions, and was shown photos of Jeffrey Epstein, Donald John Trump, topless young females of a young but indeterminate age, and there was a trouser stain. I'll let you speculate. It's not me to draw conclusions to you. And it further stated that he and Putin had a relationship and that he went to Moscow and met with Putin. Now, at this point, you ask yourself, a guy like Epstein, is there anything that he wouldn't have done? I'll just leave that to your intellectual curiosity to say that Jeffrey Epstein would have never gone to Vladimir Putin with compromise. I think that's the word it is. With compromise, maybe, don't know. It seems to me a reasonable question. Was there an exchange here? Was there a barter or a turnover of the negatives for remuneration or consideration? I am not saying that happened, but I am saying if you use your deductive powers and you use what you know about history, you have to ask yourself that. Now, what makes this so much more intriguing than the normal bullshit you hear about Trump and it's there and this and that? It's that Wolfe, again, is a very clever man. He was very specific about what it was. Why did he do this? Now, ponder that question. I'll give you what I'll say. He knew they were very litigious. I think Michael Wolfe was begging Trump to sue him for defamation because I went to law school. I've never sat here and claimed to be the finest First Amendment lawyer or the best law student or anything like that. But I do know that in libel and defamation case, the truth is an absolute defense. In other words, I can't libel you if I say the truth about you. And Michael Wolfe is so confident. And, I forgot one important thing. Epstein told Wolfe that when the FBI raided his townhouse, very important, they went into his safe and they took the photographs. So Wolfe knows that these photographs exist and they're at the FBI. He is begging to be sued so he can go to the judge and say, Judge, there's evidence that shows that I was telling the truth. They're not going to sue him. I don't think. But I think that Michael Wolfe is a smart, clever guy, and he's saying, I dare you. I said that I saw a picture with you and Jeffrey Epstein with topless young females of an indeterminate age. Even more, very specifically, there was an obvious trouser stain in your groin area. That's what he said. Now, I don't know Wolfe. If I do, it's superficially. The one thing I've never heard anybody say about Michael Wolfe is that he's dumb. He didn't thought it out. No, he's, in my humble opinion, this is what he's doing. Now we got the press. Well, what about the Democrats are not doing well with non-college men? And what's going to happen? And we need to have a panel discussion here on to talk about. Shit! Oh my God! Please, in the name of a just and merciful God and everything that is right and holy in this world, spare me. Maybe somebody ought to look at this, because the work is being done for you. You don't have to do anything but be a stenographer. This is what Wolfe said. He said it publicly. He told it to two highly trained historians. One's a highly trained journalist. And he did that. You got all this right wing, we're not having Jeffrey Epstein files. Well, there is substantial reason to believe that the FBI has this photograph. That's just what Wolfe's saying. I'm repeating what he said, and I'm telling you, and that there is a very real possibility, because Wolfe says Epstein told him that he went to Russia, we talked to Putin, that he and Putin were friends, and that he went to Russia and met with Putin. I don't think my imagination is running out of control here. I think that Wolfe is daring Trump to sue him. It's very easy for prosecutors, for anybody, or for Wolfe's own lawyers, should he be sued, to determine if he ever went to Russia, because he has a passport and get a visa and it's rigmarole entailed here. So, and I think that Michael Wolfe is trying to set them up to sue him. Most people don't want to be sued. It's a kind of pain in the ass thing. It costs you a lot of money. They get to depose you, but you get to depose them. I don't think there's much chance that Mr. Wolfe is going to be sued here. But one can hope. One can hope. And this is the greatest dare, the greatest taunt, the greatest in your face. Okay, motherfucker, do something about it. I said it. I believe it. It's fact. That's what Jeffrey Epstein told me. That's what Jeffrey Epstein showed me. I have seen the picture. It exists. So I know that you're going to be treated to the whole fucking thing in California, and it started on the parade Saturday. By the way, man, I can't tell you how much I love Pope Leo. He's a little, what do we call him? trade counter-scheduling. Yeah, he's having a mass in Chicago. Let's see who draws the bigger crowd. So we're going to stay on this. I think if you're a citizen, I'm going to just say it right now, as a former teacher, 3 years at Norman Jennings Community College, 9 years at Tulane, 4 years at LSU, taught middle school after I got out of the Marine Corps. If you're a concerned citizen, if you think that there's something going on here, I urge you to go to the Legal AF podcast site and draw up a podcast called The Court of History with Sidney Blumenthal and Sean Willets. And then when you see this information, I wouldn't keep it secret, because I'm not about to keep this secret. I'm telling you, let's all do our duty as citizens and ask the necessary questions about what happened. Let's ask the necessary questions. There's been all this speculation about, is there P-tape or not a P-tape? I got news for you. I think there's a stain tape. I don't know if there's a P-tape, but I'm pretty sure there's a trouser stain tape. So we'll be revisiting this story. I'm very much counting on all of you to discharge your obligations of citizenship, your civic duty, your love of country, your patriotism. Spend a little time watching Mr. Wolfe explain in very specific and very graphic detail what he was told, what he saw, and where he went. It's now time to act. Let's act together. Let's see how much the security of the United States of America has been compromised, how many lies have been told, what's going on. And I got news for you. It could be much more than this. If it could get any worse than this, I don't know. But sometimes my imagination is not what at my age, maybe not what it used to be. So I will bid you adieu for now. I look forward to reading your comments, as always. I'm sure that some of you, and I know a lot of you, are former national security experts, have a lot of experience in this. I'm sure that you will think of things that I haven't. We can share these with each other, but have a wonderful Flag Day. Please join me in tipping my hat to maybe the most glorious fighting force in modern world history, the United States Army, which will be celebrating its anniversary this Saturday on Flag Day. My hat is off. I was actually born on Army post. I was just out in California, went by Fort Ord, which is now closed, where my dad was stationed in the early 1940s. Many members of my family have been in the United States Army. I have many friends, retired Army veterans. And I just would like to take my hat off and salute the glorious 250 years of the United States Army. Thank you very much.